This episode is sponsored by Brilliant. We'll have more information on them in a little bit.
Oh man, 100k left. The countdown is officially on.
What's up guys, I'm randomfrankp, back with episode 149 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off some of the best gaming setups to give you some ideas and inspirations for your own setup. And this week we're going to have a special single monitor only edition, giving you guys some good looks at those very simple looking setups. If you see anything you like, I will have it all listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out. And let's start off episode 149. First up, we have Paolo with a very aggressive looking gaming setup. Even though there's only one monitor here, you're definitely still getting those gamer vibes. Probably partially due to the red and black color theme he has going on. And there's a lot of, angles with the wallpaper, the way the PC is shaped. But let's check it out. His single monitor is the Acer Predator XB272, so a 27-inch display, which has a 240 Hz refresh rate panel. So a definite great display here for gaming. Into some of the peripherals, the Corsair Gaming K70 Luxe RGB keyboard with some cherry silent switches. As for the mouse, it's the Corsair M65 Pro RGB, all on the HyperX Extra Large Fury S gaming mousepad. And then for audio, although it's not a picture, he does have the Razer Kraken headset, and that speaker there is the JBL Charge 3. So all the peripherals matching with the red LED lights, which is going to go along with the light strip behind his desk. Now we gotta check out this PC, which is actually a pre-built, but it's actually pretty impressive for the price. So this is from Lenovo. It's the Y710 Idea Center, and inside is an i7 6700 CPU with an NVIDIA GTX 1070 Founders Edition graphics card. But it definitely has, like I said before, a real aggressive look, very angular. So aesthetically, it's gonna fit right in. And even though over the years, pre-builds have kind of been looked down upon, but it's great that recently with the recent, hikes in hardware prices and stuff, they're definitely becoming a pretty viable option. So if you ever wanted your own black and red kind of gaming setup here, keeping it simple at the same time, this is a great one to be inspired by. Not a lot of clutter at all, keeping it nice and simple, always good to see. Next, we got JazzWong MVP kind of name. And if I had to give this setup like a label, it would be, like a natural cool tone kind of setup with some wooden accents and a lot of blue hues throughout. So for his setup, he's using an Acer 31.5-inch curved monitor. And you can kind of see he has like some tiles behind the monitor, maybe to give it some texture from where the RGB lighting is in the back of his desk. And for his peripherals, unfortunately, this is one of the only photos we have to fully show him off. He has an Ajaz RGB keyboard, and odds are it was bundled with that Ajaz RGB mouse as well. They're definitely a cheaper option you can find on Amazon. Then for the speakers, we have the Logitech G560 LightSync speakers, which is going to give it some extra RGB lighting behind as well. Personally, I'm definitely a big fan of these. Now over to his PC, let's check this out. Inside's an AMD Phenom 2X4 955 CPU, a definite throwback, with 8 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RAM on an Asus LX motherboard with an NVIDIA GT 930 GPU. So altogether, an older build that is given a modern facelift, let's say, with some RGB fans inside the case. So altogether, pretty cool looking gaming room. I like how he has lots of lights everywhere, even mounted up on the wall and stuff, so like I said before, kind of natural with some wooden accents, some plants, bluer cool hues. I'm a fan of this one. Now we got Alex going with like a fire setup. The last setup we can call ice. This one definitely fire. Tons of orange and red. Lots of warmer colors going on here to give it again that gamer look. I feel like if you just want to go for a gamer look, you throw in some red and black and it's going to just accomplish that somehow. It's a weird thing. But regardless, Alex still has a great looking setup. And he's using an Acer 35-inch curved ultra-wide monitor. These things are just absolutely great for gaming. As for his peripherals, he has the Corsair Gaming K70 RGB keyboard. You're going to see a theme here, along with his Logitech G903 wireless mouse on the Corsair MM800 RGB Polaris mousepad. Again, all matching, got all the RGB lights inside the peripherals going to that same color. And then for audio, you can see in the back, we have the Razer Leviathan speaker. And his SteelSeries Arctis Pro headset is sitting on the Corsair ST100 RGB headset stand, RGB for days. But I like how he has, a variety of products from all different companies. He's not really, a fanboy, you could say. He's got Corsair, Razer, Logitech, SteelSeries, all nailed down here. Now for the PC, this thing is a beaut. We have a Inwin 303C Polaris case, and inside's an Intel i7 8700 CPU with the NZXT Kraken X72 AIO. Got 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB RAM on an Asus ROG Strix Z370F gaming motherboard with an Asus GTX 1080 Ti ROG Strix graphics card. Also have a Samsung 860 EVO 2TB SSD, and as for the fans and stuff, those are the NZXT Air 120mm RGB fans, also hooked up to the NZXT Hue Plus for that integrated PC lighting to give it that that literal fire flare kind of look. So really hard not to like this one. It's hard to even pinpoint something that you can consider a con about this setup. Another thing I also want to point out is while now he can have it all one color theme, boom, just like that, you can switch it up, change all the colors to a completely different looking theme here, which is going to give his setup a completely new feel and a brand new vibe. So I love setups that are as versatile as this. That's the power of RGB. And I want to remind you, today's video has been sponsored and approved by Brilliant. And Brilliant allows you to really enhance your math and science learning through a detailed and enriched process, making it easier for you to understand. You can master tons of concepts and courses by solving fun and challenging problems, applying concepts, and using critical reasoning skills. Their website has tons of courses from math, science, and computer science, giving you an engaging and interactive experience. To check it out, go to brilliant.org/randomfrankp and sign up for free, and the first 200 people that go to that link will get 20% off the annual premium subscription. Thanks again to Brilliant. Now back to the rest of the episode. Alright, now right back into it. I'm getting some real space kind of vibes from this. Maybe it's because of the color theme with a teal and purple kind of mix here. Or maybe it's because he has an Alienware monitor and I just put Alienware and space together. I don't know. But either way, I'm digging it. So as for that display, nicely mounted here. That is the Alienware X34 Ultra Wide. Nice and subtle curve as well. And I probably say it every episode, I know. This is just another great example of, mixing the colors of your setup and matching it with the wallpaper. It's ever so subtle, but it just makes it look so much better with kind of matching those light blue accents. Telling you guys, a proper wallpaper can take a setup to a whole new level. So for his gear, we have the Corsair Gaming K95 Platinum RGB keyboard, along with the Corsair Glaive RGB mouse on a nice extended mouse pad from Corsair as well. And again, note the colors of his peripherals matching the rest of his setup, you know the routine. Then as for his audio, note those speakers. We have the Harman Kardon SoundSticks 3, and you can spot there the Astro mix amp, which is going to go along with his Astro 840 headset. Then as for his PC, we have another great looking one. This is a case from Lian Li. It's got 10 letters and numbers. I'll put it down below, you guys know the routine. But a Lian Li case, inside's an Intel i7 8700K CPU with the Corsair H150i Pro AIO, 32 gigs of G-Skill Trident Z RGB RAM on an Asus Maximus 10 motherboard and an Asus GTX 1080 Ti overclocked GPU with a Samsung 512GB 960 Pro NVMe SSD. So not only doesn't it look nice, but it is blazing fast. And then you flip a light switch on and it all comes back to earth, literally. So it looks a lot more clean here with the all-white desk. Much more simple, but when the lights are off, the RGB is in full effect. But either way, all around, I'd say it is a great looking gaming setup. Oh baby, then last but not least, we have JazzWong, one of those setups that just dedicates itself to the brand loyalty. They love a certain company, so they go all out. You can see here, switch it up as well from just a flip of a button or a remote, I don't know, but you can have it whatever color he wants, and the entire room changes to that color. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, but for his display, he has an AOC Agnon 31.5-inch monitor with the Asus ROG Strix Flare keyboard and the Asus ROG Spatha mouse on the Asus ROG Sheath mousepad, along with the Creative Sound Blaster X Katana RGB soundbar. And then for his headset, you can see it kind of propped up there on Iron Man, kind of wittily using that as a headset holder. Logitech G933 in white. But check out this custom-made desk with the logos built in, and they're kind of backlit as well. So he's got his love for ROG here with their kind of Asus I logo. And then he's a big fan of Dota, so he has that. Did I say Dodo? Dota? You know what I mean. Got that on the other side, illuminated as well. And then above the PC, a massive sign again. We actually have had a few setups that have these massive Asus signs, so pretty cool to see when it's pulled up nicely in a setup. But now we're going to check out that PC because it is just staring us in the face. We have the NZXT Noctis 450 ROG case, not a shocker. Inside is another Intel i7 8700K CPU with the NZXT Kraken X62 AIO on an Asus Maximus X Hero motherboard with 16 gigs of G-Skill Trident Z RGB RAM and the Asus Strix GTX 1080 Ti graphics card. So yes, you guys know all the Asus gear. And then for cable management, for everything going on, this is a really good job of keeping it simple underneath the desk with no cables hanging down in sight, just a woofer and a trash can. So Dragos here, even though he only has one monitor, it feels like there's like 10 of them because there's just a lot going on. Tons of RGB, tons of brand loyalty to the things he loves, like Dota and Asus, and it really comes out. A great DIY job, and I always love seeing when passion is put into a setup like this. Alright guys, that'll wrap it up for episode 149 of Room Tour Project. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget, check the links in the description down below for all the gear and hardware you saw. I have listed down there for you, as well as some very simple instructions on how to submit your own setup if you want to be possibly considered to be on a future episode of Room Tour Project. And again, shout out to Brilliant for sponsoring this episode. All the links will be down below. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Well, I'm Random Frank P. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.